When it comes to American muscle cars, few names command as much respect as Pontiac. For decades, this legendary brand gave us some of the meanest, most powerful machines to ever hit the streets. From the iconic GTO that started the muscle car revolution, to the fierce Trans Am that owned the 70s, Pontiac didn't just build cars, they created legends on wheels. These weren't just regular vehicles with big engines, they were pure American muscle, wrapped in some of the coolest designs Detroit ever produced. So in today's video, we'll be counting down the top 10 Pontiac muscle cars that changed the game. We're talking about insane power, unforgettable designs, and the kind of performance that made these beasts the kings of the street and strip. Number 1. 1964 Pontiac GTO. The 1964 Pontiac GTO was a landmark muscle car that helped launch the golden era of American performance vehicles. It was Pontiac's first true muscle car, a mid-sized car with a powerful engine that was built for speed and thrills. Under the hood, the GTO packed a big 389 cubic inch V8 engine that could produce up to 348 horsepower. This was a massive amount of power for the time, allowing the GTO to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 7 seconds, an incredible speed for a regular production car in the 1960s. This engine was paired with either a 4-speed manual transmission or a smooth 2-speed automatic. On the outside, the GTO had a muscular, sporty look. It had a long, low hood and a short rear deck, and a wide stance that gave it an aggressive, powerful appearance. Pontiac added some unique styling touches like the distinctive tri-power grille and chrome trim to make the GTO stand out from regular Pontiac models. Inside, the GTO had a driver-focused cockpit with a sporty bucket seat interior. The dashboard had easy-to-read gauges and controls that put all the important information right in front of the driver. It also had extra performance features like a tachometer to monitor the engine's revs. The combination of the GTO's powerful V8 engine, sporty styling, and performance-oriented interior made it an instant hit with driving enthusiasts when it was introduced. It started a trend towards bigger, more powerful muscle cars that automakers would continue to build throughout the 1960s and early 1970s. Even today, the 1964 Pontiac GTO is remembered as an iconic muscle car that set the standard for affordable, high-performance vehicles that prioritize driving excitement above all else. Number 2. 1967 Pontiac GTO. The 1967 Pontiac GTO was one of the most iconic muscle cars of its era. Pontiac really hit it out of the park with this version of the GTO. Under the hood, the 1967 GTO packed a powerful punch. It came standard with a 400 cubic inch V8 engine that delivered 335 horsepower. For those looking for even more power, Pontiac offered an optional 360 horsepower 400 cubic inch V8. Both engines were paired with either a 3-speed manual transmission or a 2-speed automatic. The GTO's performance wasn't just about straight-line speed either. It had a performance-tuned suspension that provided sharp, responsive handling. Disc brakes up front helped bring this muscle car to a stop quickly. In terms of styling, the 67 GTO looked the part of a mean street machine. It had a muscular, aggressive bodywork with a distinctive dual-scoop hood, chrome trim accents, and cool triple tail lights. Buyers could choose from a range of vibrant exterior colors like regimental red, Camino ivory, and Tyrol blue. Inside, the GTO had a sporty driver-focused interior. It came standard with bucket seats, a floor-mounted shifter, and a rally gauge cluster to help keep the driver informed. Optional extras included things like air conditioning, power windows, and an AM/FM radio. Overall, the 1967 Pontiac GTO combined incredible straight-line performance, sharp handling, and head-turning good looks. It's no wonder that the GTO is considered one of the most legendary muscle cars of the 1960s. Number 3. 1968 Pontiac Firebird 400. The 1968 Pontiac Firebird 400 was one of the hottest muscle cars of its era. It was part of Pontiac's Firebird lineup, which was introduced in 1967 as a competitor to the Ford Mustang. Under the hood, the Firebird 400 packed a serious punch. It came equipped with a big 400 cubic inch V8 engine that produced a whopping 335 horsepower. That was a ton of power for a car of that size and weight. The engine was paired with either a 3-speed automatic transmission or a 4-speed manual, giving drivers the choice of how they wanted to put all that power to the pavement. In terms of styling, the 1968 Firebird had a sleek, sporty look. It had a long, low hood, a short rear deck, and a wide stance that gave it an aggressive, muscular appearance. The front end featured Pontiac's trademark split grille design, and the rear had distinctive Firebird taillights. Buyers could choose from a variety of vibrant paint colors to make their Firebird stand out. Inside, the Firebird 400 had a driver-focused cockpit design. The dashboard was angled towards the driver, and it included a full set of gauges so the driver could monitor the car's vital stats. The seats were built for performance, with extra bolstering to help keep the driver and passenger firmly in place during spirited driving. In general, the 1968 Pontiac Firebird 400 was a true muscle car classic. With its powerful engine, sporty good looks, and driver-centric interior, it offered an exhilarating driving experience that was hard to match at the time. Today, the 68 Firebird 400 is a highly sought-after collector's item for muscle car enthusiasts who want to recapture the raw power and style of the golden age of American muscle. Number 4. 1969 Pontiac GTO Judge. The 1968 Pontiac GTO Judge was one of the most iconic muscle cars of its era. Pontiac created the Judge as a special, high-performance version of their popular GTO model. Under the hood, the Judge packed some serious power. It came with a massive 400 cubic inch V8 engine that could put out 366 horsepower. That's a ton of power for a car from the 1960s. To help put all that power to the ground, the Judge had a beefed-up suspension and wide tires. On the outside, the Judge had some unique styling touches that set it apart. It had a distinctive rear spoiler, special hood scoops, and bold graphics down the sides. This aggressive, in-your-face look definitely grabbed people's attention on the street. Inside, the Judge had a sportier interior than the regular GTO. It had bucket seats, a floor-mounted shifter, and cool rally gauges to monitor all the engine's vitals. Pontiac wanted drivers to feel the power and performance of the Judge when they were behind the wheel. One of the coolest features of the Judge was its The Judge decal on the rear quarter panels. This was Pontiac's way of letting everyone know this was a special high-performance version of the GTO. It was a real statement piece that told the world this was no ordinary muscle car. With its massive engine, unique styling, and excellent performance, the 1969 Pontiac GTO Judge has gone down in history as one of the most desirable and sought-after American muscle cars of all time. Even today, the Judge is revered by car enthusiasts for its incredible combination of power, presence, and pure driving excitement. Number 5. 1969 Pontiac Custom S. The 1969 Pontiac Custom S might not be as famous as the GTO, but this muscle car was a hidden gem in Pontiac's lineup. Think of it as a sleeper, a car that packed serious muscle under its hood while maintaining a more subtle appearance. Starting with the looks, the Custom S shared the same clean, stylish body as the Tempest and Le Mans. It features Pontiac's signature split grille, crisp body lines, and those cool stacked headlights that were all the rage in the late 1960s. Chrome trim and elegant taillights gave it that classic muscle car presence without being too flashy. Under the hood is where things got interesting. The base engine was a respectable 350 cubic inch V8, but the real magic happened when you checked the right boxes on the order form. You could get the thundering 400 cubic inch V8, which could crank out up to 330 horsepower. Paired with either a 3-speed automatic or a 4-speed manual transmission, this power plant could push the Custom S from 0 to 60 in about 6.5 seconds. Seriously quick for its time. Inside, the Custom S offered a comfortable blend of sports car feel and everyday usability. The dash featured easy-to-read gauges, and you got those great bucket seats up front. The steering wheel was thick and sporty, and there was plenty of room for 5 passengers. What made the Custom S special was its value proposition. You got serious muscle car performance without the premium price tag of the GTO. Plus, insurance companies didn't flag it like they did the more notorious muscle cars, making it cheaper to insure. Options included power steering, power brakes, air conditioning, and various interior trim levels. You could even get a hood-mounted tack if you wanted to get serious about performance. Today, the Custom S is a rare find, making it a unique collector's car. It represents a perfect example of the hidden heroes of the muscle car era, cars that delivered serious performance without shouting it from the rooftops. Which one of these beasts have you ever driven or owned in the past? Do let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to also like and subscribe for more interesting content. Number 6. 1970 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. The 1970 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am was a true muscle car icon, delivering a thrilling driving experience combined with striking good looks. Pontiac designed the Trans Am to be the high-performance version of their popular Firebird, and it didn't disappoint. Under the long, sloping hood, the 1970 Trans Am packed a powerful 6.6-liter V8 engine, producing a robust 345 horsepower. This potent power plant allowed the Trans Am to rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds, making it one of the quickest cars on the road at the time. Channeling all that power to the rear wheels was a choice of either a 4-speed manual or a 3-speed automatic transmission, giving drivers full control over their performance. To further enhance the driving dynamics, The Trans Am came equipped with a performance-tuned suspension, stiffer springs, and larger stabilizer bars, making it exceptionally agile and responsive on the curves. But the 1970 Trans Am wasn't just about raw power. It also had a distinctive and aggressive appearance that set it apart from the competition. The most notable feature was the large, functional hood scoop, which not only looked menacing, but also helped to feed cool air into the engine. Additionally, the iconic shaker hood, which vibrated with the engine's rumble, further emphasized the Trans Am muscular persona. The exterior design was completed with bold graphics, including the recognizable Screaming Chicken decal on the hood, as well as unique body trim and a rear spoiler that provided both style and aerodynamic benefits. Inside, the Trans Am cabin was equally driver-focused, with supported bucket seats, a sporty steering wheel, and a range of performance-oriented gauges to keep the driver informed. With its potent V8 engine, advanced suspension, and striking visual presence, the 1970 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am remains one of the most legendary and desirable muscle cars ever produced. Number 7. 1971 Pontiac GTO Judge. The 1971 Pontiac GTO Judge was one of the most iconic muscle cars of its time. Pontiac created the Judge as a high-performance version of their popular GTO model. Under the hood, the Judge packed some serious power. It came standard with a massive 455 cubic inch V8 engine that produced around 335 horsepower. This big, powerful engine gave the Judge incredible acceleration and speed for the era. Pontiac also offered an optional Ram Air 4 version of this engine that bumped output to over 370 horsepower. To handle all that power, the Judge had a beefed-up suspension system with stiffer springs and shocks. It also had wider tires and wheels compared to the regular GTO, giving it better grip and handling on the road or the racetrack. On the outside, the Judge stood out from the regular GTO with its unique styling. It had a bold, distinctive paint job with bright stripes and decals. The front end featured a sporty, aggressive-looking grille and hood scoops to feed air into that big V8 engine. Inside, the Judge had all the typical muscle car features like bucket seats, a sporty steering wheel, and performance gauges. But it also had some extra touches like unique trim pieces and badging to let everyone know this was a special high-performance version of the GTO. Despite its incredible power and performance, the Judge was still a practical car that owners could drive every day. It had a decent-sized trunk and comfortable seating for 4 adults. In the end, the 1971 Pontiac GTO Judge was the total package. A true muscle car with incredible acceleration, great handling, and standout style. It's remembered today as one of the most sought-after and iconic muscle cars from the golden era of American performance. Number 8. 1973 Pontiac Firebird Super Duty 455. The 1973 Pontiac Firebird Super Duty 455 was an absolute beast of a muscle car. Under the hood, it packed a massive 455 cubic inch V8 engine that pumped out a whopping 310 horsepower. To put that in perspective, that's more power than most family sedans have today. This engine was no slouch either. It could accelerate the Firebird from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds, which was lightning fast for the time. The engine also had heavy-duty internals like forged pistons and a beefed-up crankshaft to handle all that power. Pontiac didn't just focus on raw power, though. They also tuned the chassis and suspension to make the Firebird handle really well. It had stiff springs, heavy-duty shocks, and fat sway bars to keep the car flat and stable around the corners. The steering was also super sharp, allowing the driver to point the Firebird exactly where they wanted it to go. On the outside, the Super Duty 455 Firebird looked the part too. It had a bold, muscular design with a long hood, short deck, and wide stance. The front end was dominated by Pontiac's iconic split grille, giving it an aggressive, in-your-face appearance. Special Super Duty badging and decals let everyone know this wasn't your average Firebird. Inside, the Firebird had all the classic muscle car features: bucket seats, a center console, and a sporty steering wheel. But Pontiac also gave it some premium touches like an available Hurst shifter for the 4-speed manual transmission. In general, the 1973 Pontiac Firebird Super Duty 455 was the ultimate expression of the muscle car era. It had incredible power, great handling, and a bold, unapologetic style. Even today, over 50 years later, it's still considered one of the all-time great Pontiac performance cars. If you've enjoyed the video so far, please like and share with a friend. Number 9. 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. The 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am was a powerful and stylish muscle car that was a standout in Pontiac's lineup. Under the hood, it packed a potent 6.6-liter V8 engine that delivered 200 horsepower, providing plenty of acceleration and performance. One of the most distinctive features of the 77 Trans Am was its unique and aggressive exterior styling. It had a distinctive sloped nose, a large bird-themed hood decal, and flared fenders that gave it an imposing muscular appearance on the road. The car also featured classic Pontiac styling cues like the split grille and triangular taillights that helped it stand out from the crowd. Inside, the Trans Am had a sporty and well-equipped interior designed with the performance-minded driver in mind. It came standard with bucket seats, a sporty 3-spoke steering wheel, and an array of gauges and instrumentation that allowed the driver to keep a close eye on the car's vital functions. The interior also featured attractive black and gold trim pieces that complemented the car's bold exterior styling. In terms of performance, the 77 Trans Am was no slouch. With its powerful V8 engine and responsive handling, it could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 7.5 seconds, which was quite quick for the time. The car also came equipped with a 4-speed manual transmission that allowed the driver to fully harness the engine's power and engage in the driving experience. Beyond its performance, the 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am also had a certain cool factor that made it a beloved muscle car of the era. Its bold styling, powerful engine, and sporty driving dynamics combined to create a car that was not only fast, but also visually striking and immensely appealing to enthusiasts. Overall, the 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am was a standout muscle car that exemplified Pontiac's commitment to building high-performance, stylish, and exciting vehicles. Number 10. 1989 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am Turbo, 20th Anniversary. The 1989 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am Turbo was a special edition model that celebrated the 20th anniversary of the iconic Firebird. This car was a high-performance muscle car that packed a serious punch. Under the hood, it had a turbocharged 3.8-liter V6 engine that produced 250 horsepower. That was a lot of power for the time, and it helped the Firebird accelerate quickly and reach high top speeds. The turbocharger boosted the engine's power by forcing more air into the cylinders, giving the car a real adrenaline rush when you stepped on the gas. The Firebird Turbo also had a sport-tuned suspension that made it handle like a dream on winding roads. It gripped the pavement tightly and felt nimble and responsive, allowing you to really have fun behind the wheel. In terms of the car's styling, the 1989 Firebird Turbo had a distinct and aggressive look. It had the classic Firebird shape with a distinctive shark mouth front end, but Pontiac added some special 20th anniversary touches. This included unique decals, striping, and badging that set it apart from regular Firebirds. Inside, the Firebird Turbo had a sporty cabin with supportive bucket seats, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, and a great-sounding audio system. It had all the features you'd expect in a high-performance machine from that era. Overall, the 1989 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am Turbo was a special and exciting muscle car. It combined turbocharged power, sharp handling, and anniversary-themed styling to create a true performance icon. For Firebird fans, it was the ultimate way to celebrate 2 decades of this legendary nameplate. Whether you were cruising down the highway or tearing up the racetrack, the Firebird Turbo always delivered an adrenaline-fueled driving experience that was hard to match. It's a car that still commands respect and attention from enthusiasts today. So there you have it, our list of Pontiac's top 10 muscle cars. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to get more interesting content like this. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.